have some information on Jack Kantola. Our second speaker this morning, Jack is an experienced Toastmaster and a seasoned world traveler. Lived and worked in England for 4 years and has visited over 50 countries around the world. Jack classifies himself as a moderately adventurous traveler who enjoys learning about other cultures and interacting with people of other cultures. Jack's presentation this morning will tell us about the rewards of international travel and hopefully encourage you to become a world traveler as well. Today, Jack is fulfilling assignment number 8 from the Competent Communicator Manual. You're finally going to get through that, okay? Anyway, get comfortable with visual aids. The title of the speech is Time to Travel, speaking from 8 to 10 minutes. Please help me welcome Jack Kantola. You'll figure it out. Oops.
Nope.
Switch. Switch. Oh, okay. Yeah, now that'll work.
I was trying to check an item off my bucket list. I got up in the morning, ate breakfast, grabbed my camera, and took the half-a-mile walk to where I would look at Victoria Falls. I saw it from the air when we flew in, and it's like a giant lightning bolt struck into the ground. I couldn't imagine what that falls would look like. And I walked into this rainforest that surrounds the falls and walked over to the edge. And this is what I saw. Just an incredible sight. 2 kilometers long. The water drops 300 feet into this crevasse. Both sides of the falls are at equal height. It's an amazing place to see and visit. One item knocked off of my bucket list. That's why I traveled. Mr. Toastmaster, most welcome guests and fellow Toastmasters. How about you? How many of you have traveled internationally? Now, I've heard through the table topics and introduction this morning, a lot of hands, but how many have traveled internationally? I have been to over 50 countries traveling internationally. How many of you have been over in 10 or 20 or 30 countries and experienced the different cultures and the different scenes and the different views? The amazing thing is that you may have, whoops, excuse me, I've got to go back one. You may have visited the Great Wall of China, an amazing sight, man-made object that can be seen from outer space. Just incredible. Or you may have gone to Peru and visited the Uros Indian tribe that lives on papyrus or reed islands anchored to the bottom of Lake Titicaca. An amazing culture and an amazing story. Or maybe you went to Helsinki, Finland and saw that beautiful capital city of Finland on the Baltic Sea. It's an amazing place to visit. Or maybe you went shooting lions in the with a camera, of course. There's an amazing world of adventure out there for us to see and experience. And we heard some of the stories this morning and table topics about that and kind of whet your appetite for travel and to be able to understand what that international travel is like. What I'd like to do is share with you, if you've got an inkling for this travel, some steps that you can take to make it a reality. Step number 1, get a passport.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Now, back in about 1982, my wife and I were having a family meeting and we're trying to talk about what we wanted to do in the next 10, 15, 20 years. And one of the items that came up was that we thought we'd like to travel internationally and perhaps even live in another country for a time. And we talked about what we had to do to make that happen. And we both at the same time came up with the idea we need passports. So we went out and we got our passports. And you know something, within a year I made my first trip to Europe. Within 2 years we were living in England and I was working at a company in England. And since then again, I've traveled to many, many different countries. Was it a self-fulfilling prophecy? I think so. I think as you get that passport, what it does is it adjusts your brain to start thinking about travel as a priority. To start looking at that option as a way of life for you to experience and to enjoy. Step number 2. I think you have to kind of decide what level of adventure will work for you at this beginning. You may not want to lie with tigers, or ride in a horse cart, or travel through the Okavango Delta in a wooden canoe called a Makoro. or even just travel around the Masai Mara in a four-wheel drive vehicle. Decide what level of adventure is right for you, and then you have some options in terms of doing that travel. The first of these options is independent travel. Now, we do that whenever we feel that logistically it's not too difficult. So for this picture is my wife standing next to our Russian rental car in Finland in June. And we left Oulu, Finland, where we were visiting relatives, and we didn't have any reservations. We didn't have an itinerary other than we wanted to visit the town of Savonlinna, which is a beautiful, beautiful city. We didn't have anything arranged at all. And we left Oulu, and we found hotels. We found a hotel in Savonlinna that was right downtown, perfect place for us to explore that city. Independent travel gives you flexibility to have your own itinerary. You can stop whenever you want to stop and go whenever you want to go. The other side of the story is that it requires a little more effort on your part, and it requires you to be a little more intrepid in your travel because you may or may not find a hotel room on occasion. Now, I've told them that we came real close one time, I shouldn't say that. We came close one time in Germany, and we had to go to the police station and say, help! We need a place to stay tonight, and they found a place for us to stay. So it's always possible. Independent travel is one option. Another option is group travel. Group travel lets you get out and enjoy the places that you're going to visit. You get a chance to interact with a few people on a basis. But if you're traveling in a group that's got 40 people in it, you're just like in a herd. What we do is we travel with a company called Overseas Adventure Travel. The maximum group size for OAT is 16 people. That lets you not worry about logistics. It lets you stay in small hotels. It lets you eat in real restaurants, not the tourist restaurants. And it gives you a perfect experience. We have home visits. We have school visits. We have a lot of other things like that. So group travel is a good way to go as well. Then we have the Janice Tucker alternative, the cruise. This is one we took in June. We went up the coast of Norway on cruise and cruise lines or ferry lines. The thing about cruises is that if you don't want to worry about anything, you bring your luggage in, set it up, and you're done until you leave the boat. You eat all your meals on the boat. Okay, that's the positive, that's the plus side. But the downside is, I look at it as you're not experiencing the countries you're visiting, you're looking at them. And so you don't get a chance to taste the local cuisine, you don't get a chance to interact with the local people nearly to the degree that you can in the other types of travel. But choose one of those types of travel and then go out and try it, and then see how your level of adventureness will change as you go forward. And then step 3, choose a destination and go. Now, you may say, well, gosh, I can't afford international travel. That may be true, but it may not. I have a cousin in Finland. He and his wife are both school teachers. They don't earn a lot of money, but they have a high priority on travel, and in 2006, they took their 2 kids, 10 and 12 at the time, on an international around-the-world trip. They did it by scrimping and saving money. They did it by not buying a new house. They just added a bedroom to the house that they had. And they made that a priority, and they traveled on the cheap. They stayed at youth hostels. They eat sandwiches, but they gave their kids an experience that those kids will never, ever forget. There's a lot of places to go, and maybe you want to visit cities like London and the Tower of Big Ben and the Houses of Parliament, or Shanghai with its Padang district and its beautiful modern architecture, or some of the villages of France, or maybe you're into art and would like to go to Giverny. There's so many places that you can visit. Maybe you're into history. You want to visit places like Machu Picchu or Stonehenge in England, or Angkor Wat in Cambodia, or maybe the UBN Bridge in Mandalay in Burma. Gorgeous, wonderful, and historical places that will give you a sense of what our ancestors did and how they lived. Or maybe you're more keen on involving yourself with people and interacting with people. One of the things that OAT does, as I mentioned, is they give us home visits and they also give us school visits. And we have a chance to interact with kids on these different countries, and it's just amazing. They're all, they're all wonderful. And we found that around the world there are really not very many nasty people. And Jim Rohn says there are only 8 nasty people in the world. And he said, well, they get around a lot. But we found that people everywhere have kind of the same priorities. They want to make sure that their children have a good life, that they get an education, that they grow up safe and be successful adults. So, if you travel internationally, you'll find that it broadens your perspectives. You get a better understanding of how people in other countries live, how the challenges that they face, the things that they enjoy, the foods that they love, and many times, most times, they're just excellent cuisine. The other thing is that traveling internationally will change your perspective on your own home country. You'll come back to the United States with a better understanding and a better appreciation for where you live. So my suggestion to you is, maybe it's time for you to become an intrepid traveler. Maybe it's time for you to go out and travel internationally. Mr. Toastmaster.